Week 38 wanted to start out really early. We had an early morning planned, but not quite that early. The early morning that we had planned on was that our church had decided to have a pancake breakfast for our congregation for a special service at the park. So I arrived early at the church to make some bacon for the breakfast. And by some, I mean a lot. But the result was a great breakfast followed by a wonderful service in the park.
There's hope in every trial, for I can trust the Lord.
Of course, the first priority when we got home was to swap out the rest of the batteries and the rest of the fire alarms. Of course, the one that we had go off last night was on the vaulted ceiling, but even a low chirper will wake you up in the middle of the night. It's just less effort to deal with the ladder and all of that. Adulting pro tip: if you write the date on the batteries when you replace them, you know just how long they last. Apparently, we're 5 days short of 2 years. Unfortunately, the first one to die was the Energizer Max, which is a problem this time because that's what I just replaced everything with. Monday night for dinner, I made some fried rice. Start out by thawing some stir-fry veggies while you scramble some eggs. Next, if you have some fresh veggies, like water chestnuts, add them in too. Next, mix in some pre-cooked proteins. We used pork loin bits tonight. Next, plop in 2 cups of cooked rice, and well, the first part of the recipe takes about 20 minutes, which is just about the right time to cook the rice. So finally, add in some soy sauce for flavoring and stir everything together, and you are good to go.
Well, I read The Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Garth, and I had had this on my list for a while, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. It was an interesting world, and I think the author is one that uses a lot more description than I have the patience for. But it was an interesting story. It had great characters. It's about a young woman who comes to London for the first time and is looking for her father, or somebody who might know who her father is, because she's never met him before. And she goes to this person's house and gets wrapped up in something crazy that happens, and it happens kind of fast, and there's something magical and strange that happens, and she is on the run with this left-handed bookseller. So they're on the run together, trying to keep safe from something that it's all very confusing at first. But you find out that the left-handed booksellers, not only do they sell books, but they also are kind of assassins / police officers for the magical world. And the right-handed booksellers are the ones that have more of like the logic and think through things. So they kind of are solving the mysteries. So it was an interesting world, and I really like the characters, and she's just really on a journey to figure out who her dad is, which is magical and unexpected. If you like some more intense world building, this might be a great fit for you.
Around my classroom, I have a bunch of photos that have been hanging up, and these photos were actually taken by the metals teacher that used to work here at Douglas County High School, and when he retired, the person who took over his classroom went to throw them away, so I grabbed them really quickly. After Ray retired from Douglas County, he actually became mayor of Castle Rock for a little while. And so I'm actually really proud to have these pictures up. And this one I recently just got framed, and it's really cool because it's actually signed by Ray Waterman. So got it framed, got it hanging up in my classroom, and I think it looks really nice. This week is the big rivalry game against our crosstown rivals Castleview. On Thursday, we had our pep assembly.
Go, County, go! BCV! Go, County, go! Yeah! Let's go, Huskies! Let's go, Huskies! Let's go, Huskies!
Super excited to try out my new pan. It was not a cheap one, but I was excited about it because it's non-stick, but not because of all the chemicals inside to make it non-stick. It's how it's constructed, and we'll see how it goes. I love that it didn't stick.
Another common sight around the math department is weekly football picks. The left column is always the Broncos game, the second column is some random noteworthy game, and the third column is the teacher's own selection. I'm not off to that great of a start, but you have to start somewhere. This week, my AP and IB computer science classes, we started a project where the students get to program Arduino microprocessors. Here are a few of the first projects. Thursday night, Melissa and I went up to Denver to see the Holy Post live with Sky Jathani. The Holy Post is a podcast aimed at individuals who feel politically homeless in our modern world. The Denver edition included a special guest, Elizabeth Newman, and after their session it was fun to meet with Sky and have a short conversation. Friday was an in-service day. It may look like the in-service day was all about food, but that's because most of the sessions weren't exciting enough to get much footage from. They did feed us breakfast burritos, and we had a session of coffee and cookies that allowed us as teachers to connect with our colleagues a little. And what best way to connect than over food? And then for lunch we went out for Cafe Rio. Then Friday night our monthly Bible study kicked off for the year. It was a beautiful night, so we met around the fire pit outside. Crazy summer of trying to grow plants and grow trees, and I finally got a petunia. And my tomatoes are finally coming out. They're coming up red. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then on Saturday night, we went to the school play to see You Can't Take It With You. It's a really fun play, and it was done really well. It was a great ending to a very full week.